What's up guys, the Foxy Gamer here. Today let's go ahead and talk about the anime Food Wars. If you never heard about this show or seen it, perfect. This overview of it might get you really curious. To start off, what exactly is Food Wars about? Well, it's a tale that involves food that revolves around our protagonist, Yukihira Soma. Yukihira has a dream to become a full-time chef in his father's restaurant. What drives this goal of his is to one day surpass his father's cooking skills. One day, a wrench is suddenly thrown right in the middle of his plans. It happens as soon as he's graduating from middle school. He finds out that his dad gets a new job that requires him to travel around the world. Because of this, they gotta close down the restaurant that they own. Ouch. That's reality for you. I see you got that sweet dream or goal of yours. Let's go ahead and pull the rug from right underneath you. Because Soma just graduated and his father is leaving, his father leaves him with one new challenge, and that's to enroll and survive this elite cooking academy. Before we delve any further, let me first mention how I actually found out about this anime. This year was actually the first time that I attended the Anime Expo in LA. My parents live in the area, so I was going to be in the area anyway. I thought, why not? Let's check it out. One of the panels that I happened to attend was the one for Crunchyroll. I think they were mainly talking about some of the upcoming shows for the summer season. Midway through the panel, they showed a slide for Food Wars Season 2. The whole auditorium just erupted in excitement. This by far got the most attention out of anything that they showed. I think before that I might have seen the title of the show once or twice, but after seeing that reaction, I was definitely curious. I just had to check it out. Of course, the title of this show is Food Wars. Like most people would likely assume, I just thought this was some show about cooking. That thought of an anime revolving around food honestly sounded completely stupid to me. Thankfully, I'm glad to say how wrong I was. I'm pretty glad to eat my own words after finishing the first season. Food Wars got me hooked right after just the first episode. I only got a small taste of it, but it was so good. So, what exactly makes Food Wars such a great show? Well, let's go down the list. To start off, we have our protagonist, Yukihira Soma. We also get to meet a lot of other colorful people along the way in this elite cooking school. Everyone at this school is always at risk in some way or another of getting expelled. The graduation rate is supposedly only 10% of the original freshman class. So yeah, the stakes are high for the main character and the cast. It also doesn't help that the main character manages to piss off everyone on day one. I gotta give it to him. That does take some skill to do. But anyway, besides the characters, we have the actual Food Wars. In other animes like Bleach or Naruto, we got physical head-to-head battles. That's not exactly possible for food challenges, where the winner is ultimately determined based on how the judge feels about your dish. They had to add some special seasoning to this to make this interesting. I give you the Food-orgasm, or the Food-gasm. Basically, these people are making dishes that are so delicious beyond belief that they send anyone that tries them into a state of complete bliss. It's to the extent that it makes people's clothes rip friggin' completely off of them, both for the guys and girls. Honestly, I was really unsure about how to feel about this the first time I saw it in the first episode. You would think they would take advantage of this and play it up for the female characters. And oh, they definitely do. But I think it's played almost equally for the male characters too. It's also just simply played up for just how over the top and ridiculous it actually is. They know it, we know it, so it ends up working for what they're trying to get across. The only time that I did think they were taking it a little bit too far, or was just too much for me personally, is when it seemed like they were trying to shoehorn in a tentacle scene with a girl. Yeah, it is Japan, so not too surprising. And they were really just trying to hammer in the point of how terrible the dish was. I really just didn't like what it was implying. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure whether we got an equivalent guy tentacle version too. Again, let me mention how this does bring in a lot of fan service into this show. There's also things that go beyond the food-gasm. For example, if you're a fan of ass, there's a specific character that'll give you your daily fill of guy ass quota. But back to the Food Wars. There are these specific Food Wars that are called Shokugeki. These help raise the stakes even further. These Shokugeki put very skilled opponents against each other. Something has to be on the line though. It could be something like their prestigious title, or simply, if they're a low-ranked student that doesn't have anything else, all they really have to offer is their seat in the school. Lose and you're out. Expelled. These Shokugeki are a big deal. They're fought in front of a whole stadium of people, announcer included. For the Food War characters, I already mentioned Yukihira. He's determined, never gives up, and has a goal in mind. Let me briefly bring up 3 other characters. Our first is Adina Knockety, aka God's Tongue. She's one of the antagonists in the series. She's a rival to Yukihira, who she hates, but deep down may secretly be into. Adina herself is from this high-class Japanese food industry family. That's why she's always looking down at almost anyone who she considers common, based on their cooking of course. She's got this infamous God tongue that helped her get a spot in the school's elite 10 group. I'm pretty sure you guys could just imagine Adina's personality. That combined with her rivalry with the main character gives us a lot of fun moments throughout the series. My one complaint about her is just the character's design of her. I always thought from the beginning that her character looked so generic. She always seemed like one of those side characters you see in the background. Side anime girl character number 2. Next up, we got Megumi Tadokoro. Megumi seems to me like the second most fleshed out character out of the series. We find out early on that she's from some small snowy village outside of the big cities in Japan, basically in the middle of nowhere. Megumi's cooking skills are pretty limited. She's a little bit socially awkward at the beginning, and she also gets frightened, just freezing up when the spotlight is on her. The combination of all of these traits is not something you want to have when you're attending this school where you might be expelled at any time. When we first met Megumi, I was just thinking to myself, oh, she's gonna be this typical shy character with a sad backstory that we gotta feel bad for. Once again, I'm glad to say, wrong. I've seen some other shows recently where they introduce some characters, give us flashback to their past, but they still end up feeling hollow. Because of this, we just never get invested in what happens to them. If we look back at Megumi, she's actually a perfect example of how to do this right. In some ways, she's actually fleshed out better than the main character. It's funny how I first thought that Megumi should just get expelled, or just not shown that much. Instead, I ended up being one of her biggest supporters, just cheering her on. Our third character worth the mention. Here's Ikumi Mito, aka Mikumi, aka the Meat Master. Nikomia is a fun character. Because of her family's connection to the meat industry, she's able to get the highest grade beef possible. No surprise that Nikomia specializes in meat dishes, and also a couple of other things. I'm forgetting what exactly. Anyway, a few other things I enjoyed about this show. We basically have all of these interesting characters living in this dorm. They're supposed to be in this elite high school academy, but it reminds me more of a college experience. And for the final thing, let me actually mention the food that they make. I'm personally only capable of cooking the bare minimum possible. I just find myself being very fascinated at the stuff they could come up with. At some point, I'm just questioning whether this stuff is actually real food. It's so interesting to watch the magic happen though. I can't help but recommend this show enough if you haven't already seen it. For those of you guys interested in some type of rating, let me mention this. I personally prefer to rate a whole show based on whether or not I will watch it again, and also how soon I'd be willing to watch it again. For Food Wars, I'll definitely be watching this again, maybe even this year. Right now, the second season is ongoing, so I'll definitely be checking that out next. Let's see how I feel about Food Wars after that's over. Once again, I highly suggest checking Food Wars out. If you have already seen it, let me know what you thought of it. Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Or maybe it really just wasn't your thing. If you enjoyed this Food Wars review, be sure to give the video a like. It really helps out the channel. Also, feel free to leave some feedback on this review. I mentioned recently that I'm expanding content for the channel, so look forward to more future reviews. If you guys are looking for some more awesome videos to watch, I just put up my top 10 Digimon that should be in a Digimon Story sequel. You guys may also know that Bleach recently came to an end in the manga. I went ahead and made a video to give my closing thoughts and review about it. Be sure to check those out. Enjoy, and I'll see you guys later.